Hello. Welcome to the module instructions for Module 4. The topic for Module 4 is biopsychology. You will be reading Chapter 3 of your OER, as well as reviewing the PowerPoints associated with Chapter 3. You will also be completing your usual discussion post and quiz for this module. In addition, you will be completing your first video response for the course. That video response is going to be focusing on the neuron. I want you to pay special attention to the structures of the neuron and how it is that information is sent from one neuron, processed in a neighboring neuron, and then continued forward. I decided to come down to the psychology lab just so that I could show you some of the models that we have here on display. So your assignment with the video response should give you a good foundation for the structure of the neuron. The neuron is so important because together neurons form entire structures. And one of the most important areas of the nervous system is the brain. When we're thinking about the brain, we're looking at the central nervous system. The central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. Each of those areas of the central nervous system are composed of billions of neurons. So let's take a look at some of the models that we have here in the lab. First, I have this model of the human brain, and this is actually a model that is very similar in size to an actual human brain. And if we look at it, we can see that there are two hemispheres. The hemispheres are connected with a connective tissue called the corpus callosum. We also have other models here in the lab. This model of the brain is actually much larger than a real brain. Again, you can see the division of the two hemispheres. In addition, this enlargement allows us to look at specific processing areas of the brain through the color coding. Of course, the brain is not color-coded that way, but the color coding here allows us to look at the different lobes of the brain and where information is processed. Okay, we also have some cross-sectional slides of human brains here in the lab. So here you can see an actual cross-section of a human brain. Looking at those models from before, again, you can see the hemispheres as well as the division and connection through the corpus callosum. And then lastly, I would like to show you our full model of a preserved human brain. Here it's a little bit more difficult to see the two hemispheres because the brain is suspended in a fluid. But we oftentimes take these models out to different events on campus so that students can get some real visuals as to what the brain looks like in terms of a real sample as well as the models. So before I go, I did want to mention to you the idea about how important it is that we understand biopsychology. There are times when students get overwhelmed by the biological nature of this chapter. But in reality, as psychologists are interested in understanding human behavior, we need to understand both the mind and the body. And because we have such incredible techniques now for getting images, both chemical and visual, of what's going on in the brain, it's one of the tools that we have to fully embrace as psychologists. So as neuroscience provides us with incredible information about the brain and the body, we have to continually update our research and our instruction to include that cutting-edge science. Okay, I will check out now and see you again in Module 5 instructions.